welcome back to Beco'ach Level 2. This is an energy in which we begin to embody all the divine qualities with an acute awareness of why we are embodying this energy, and begin walking with the knowledge and the awareness, being in gratitude of every experience that we had, to understand that it was all about gaining knowledge. What do you do with knowledge? You become wiser. You use the knowledge that you have obtained throughout the years, absolutely every experience, the highs, the lows, the ugly. It is all for you, not against you. It didn't happen to you. It truly happened for you. And for us to truly expand into that energy, we have to expand in our consciousness, because most cases it'd be hard to think and break down. You sure that happened for me and not to me? By being electromagnetic being, our neurons in our brain send out the signals. Our heart magnetize that energy to us. So understanding that now that you are aware, what are my thoughts? What am I feeling? When you begin to clear out the old gunk out of your pipes, out of your system, you are now walking in an empty vessel energy, which in you, as the creator of your universe, you get to choose what vibration, what frequency you are going to operate on. Every single day that you wake up, you have the choice to do one or two. Choose the latter, which is ascension. You understand and have awareness that on the road of ascension comes with deaths and rebirths, comes with constant losing and layering and peeling back the layers that no longer serve you. This is an energy that each and every last one of us have to commit to every single day. That's what makes this energy vibrant and working for you, is when you make that consistent commitment. Like always, we want to take our energies back to our original states, bringing in the higher energies, bringing down our higher selves. In this instance, I would like you all to humble your spirits and breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in the breath of life, which is Chai. Breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now embody these ancient words. Machshava habetula hateora harishona lifnei ze haemet. Machshava habetula hateora harishona lifnei ze haemet. Machshava habetula hateora harishona לפני זה האמת. יוד ה' ו' ה', יוד ה' ו' ה', יוד ה' ו' ה'. Selah. Now that we have drawn down our higher selves, we have centered ourselves, brought us back to the energy of active higher light frequencies. I want to remind us the importance of opening and closing portals. This is something that I'm going to add in each and every last one of our presentations, because this is very, very powerful. The understanding of the energies that you all are pulling into is connected to the undiluted force of creation. When I speak of creation, I'm not talking about just this earth. I'm not even talking about this solar system. I'm talking about the undiluted force of creation of all universes, mainly your universe. By constantly being in the vibration that you can open the portal, draw down the energy that you need, then close the portal so that you have no rooms, no cracks, no seepage for any frequency and vibration that is not of that higher energy. Once again, opening and closing portals, creating a personal practice of opening and closing portals. You can do it over your altar. You can do it in your shower. You can do it anywhere you want. But you have to have something that is natural to you. Whatever you choose, that opening portal and the closeout of that portal, it has to come naturally. So automatically, no matter if you're on vacation, you wanted to practice. You wanted to be on the beach. You want to practice. You always in the remembrance, in a natural flow of something that just comes innately in you. By using the clearing prayer, you do open up a portal. A portal with prayer, you can always use sound, ringing bells, sound bowls, changing your tone while praying. Always create something that feels natural to you, to activate the higher connection to your higher self in the spiritual realm. Here's another tip. When you begin to truly draw down your higher self, you can have a code, a certain sense. You can talk to your higher self and ask them to show you, how can I identify 100% that it is you? Now, this is another thing that is very prudent to know. Now that y'all are becoming masters, you should know that each of your higher selves have a duality, a higher aspect and a lower aspect. So you get to a point where you're healed on a certain level. What that mean? You've healed the traumas of this reincarnation. You've healed and cleared the karmic debt of timeline connections and lineage. But there comes a point where you have to be aware of the dualities of your higher self. Your higher self is composed of a masculine and feminine energy. Although they come as whole beings, in celestial beings, energies, they also have a duality. Being very, very strategic on knowing what those dualities is. That is also something that I am starting to offer. Once you have gotten your name of God from the 72 names of God, I decode what is the opposite of that name. For instance, someone may have walking in certainty. That lower aspect is uncertainty. So if it's uncertainty, that means anxiety. That means self-doubt. That means, a choppy energy. So knowing the higher self also have a duality. When we speak of the Creator, if you ever heard the story or the preachers and the pastors say, listen, God is a jealous God. Let us be very clear. That is not the actual word in Hebrew. The Hebrew word for jealous, they took that term and met from zealous to jealous. But it also represents whoever decoded that, whoever translated it in the duality, the lower aspect of the Creator. Understand that yes, the energies can always go right to left. It is based on who you are and what frequency you're vibing on. According to that will be the energies and the answers and the truths that you will receive. Closing portals. Here's another way that you can close the portals. Remember the word Selah. Last week we went over in depth the breakdown of Selah. Ana Beco'ach. This is our first line. Ana Beco'ach Gdulat Yamincha Tatir Tsurura. Our angel of the day, as well as the sequence, is Abag Yatetz. Archangel Sadikiel assisting you with an expanded amount of grace. The planet Jupiter is the energy, that expansion. It is the benevolent planet. It is the connector and the gateway to all the other universes. It is known that the planet Jupiter is the resting ground in which the benevolence, the ascended masters go to before they dive out to the different portals and mansions of the Creator. Also understanding, like last week, we went over the planet Jupiter has its dualities too, which means if you're on a frequency that you are not in the higher self, or if you're in the duality of the higher self, it will expand you into the duality of Jupiter. These are things that it is very, very important as you pulling these energies down, that you have a clear awareness that building and strengthening the muscles of your senses and knowing what's feel right and what doesn't feel right. Being aware when you're in a vicinity and the energies feels off. These are moments in which you stop, gain clarity, say a prayer, and always ask if you are of the light. Sometimes my higher self come down based on whatever question I have. I will ask, are you of the light? Is this message of the light? And until I receive a yes in my own sensatory vibration, my own energy field, then I will not proceed on. I will not take that message as absolute. And this is practices that is very prudent. Even going into meditation, us as initiates, he already told you, when you going in doing a heart breath, even in a meditation, when you go in with an intention, always say the clearing prayer. Always say the clearing prayer. So even when you expand out into those energies and you put your bubble of light on, it is infused with pure, opalescent light. Here's our second line. Kabel rinat amka. Shegavenu taharenu nora. This is the energy of Kras Satan. Kras Satan is an angel of the day, but it is also an energy and a sequence that represents tear out the Satan. Take the darkness out of me. Remove the things that no longer serve me, known and unknown. It is very prudent to remember that some of the things we don't even know what's not good for us. Until you have that acute awareness, oh, that really is, now that I see that, now that it all played out, I can recognize that that really wasn't for my highest good. That's why awareness is so, so important. Praying and meditating using the energy of courage. I cannot stress the importance of how much courage it takes to keep walking, to keep going, even when things seem weary, even when the planetary alignment, like in this Cancer season, is causing you to go deeper. It's causing you to ask more questions. It's causing you to say, sometimes it does make you start fluctuating within your own energy, because that duality is always lurking. Think about it like this. You have constantly, you're vibing on this wave of higher self, the higher lights. You feel good. You have drawn down and expanded awareness of grace. You walking in grace. You're loving yourself. You're loving your life. Understand that ego, because the ego is in our blood. That beast, that lower nature is still within us. So it is always lurking like a stalker to see if you're going to get up and say, excuse me, this is my life, and I'm not doing this. But it is waiting around. It's a trickster energy. It knows how to shape shift into your higher self. It knows how to shape shift into your mother or your ancestors. This is why knowing what you're opening up, knowing how you're dealing with your energy, and having a very strong connection and relationship with your higher self. Because when the ego try, it'll do it. Trust me, it does. It really, really will try to creep up. Just always remember that there's always that energy lurking in the shadows, waiting to try to trip you up. The whole point of the ego is to keep you in survival mode. And the minute you divorce that energy, think of a jealous ex. The minute you divorce that energy, it may play like it's going away. It may look like it's doing, like I submit, I surrender, I understand. But it's always waiting for that moment. That moment that something triggered you. That moment that somebody came and tested to see if you really change. I had a sister yesterday. She was at work. This lady came as far as put her finger on her head. Now, we all know that's a no-no. Like, you could say whatever you want, but the minute you touch me, that goes into that energy. Automatically, that reactionary energy. But then she called me and said, listen, I had an ultimate test today. And that test was to see if I was going to buck up. So it's going to be, the higher you go, that energy becomes stronger. Because the more you fuel in the light, that energy, that lower aspect is growing as well. It is as powerful. Thinking about the duality, if you think about polarity, love and hate is on the exact same vibration, just on different polar opposites. So that means your higher self, as a massive light, as a powerful celestial being, your lower self is just as powerful. That is very important to understand. And knowing that using courage every single day, that you're willing to go deeper. Every single day when you don't feel like meditating, when you have a lot on your plate. Those are the days that you do go deeper. Those are the days that you force yourself to do it. It's almost like the days that you don't feel like going to your yoga class, or you don't feel like going to your workout. We have those days. We just be exhausted. I don't want to do it. Those are the days that you push yourself the most, because in most cases, that's your ego trying to get you off of a rhythm. It starts with small things. I could let that slide. That's not that serious, but it is that serious. It is the commitment of, when I don't feel like it, I will do it anyway. When I'm exhausted, I will do it anyway. Think about the fact that if you've been on a fast before, it's that last hour and a half, that last 2 hours of your fast, you'll be about to buck. You'll be like, listen, I just need some water. I ain't got to eat. I just need some water. That's me in a lot of cases. I can do a 19, 20-day, 30-day fast, but when it get down to that last 2 hours right before sunset, I get tested every time. And I really, really appreciate Shaman telling me, he said, it's that moment when you go and pray. It's that moment when you conquer the flesh. And that's what we have to continuously remember. But it takes courage. So now we are learning how to embody this energy, so you will gain a new awareness, a new expanded way of courage. It activates, Archangel Chamuel is assisting you every step of the way. This is the active energy of the planet Mars. Mars is the planet of passion, aggression. Mars has the duality of the ego. We're about to get into Mars. Pulling up Mars. Mars, the positive aspects, influence of this fiery planet is associated with courage, enthusiasm, activity, youth, vitality, dynamism, confidence, initiation, innovation, and originality. Mars is an active fire. Let's remember the duality of fire. Fire can transmute, reborn, and renew. But also fire is very destructive. Fire can burn to crisp and leave no prisoners. So knowing the energy of fire, You want to be very careful that you are constantly on the transformative side. Let's bring it close to home, meaning using fire as the energy of anger. There are going to be times when you're going to get angry. You're going to be hurt. You're going to feel the burning in your actual chest because our hearts are flames. So you're going to feel it. But we're not saying don't feel it. Feel it. Gain clarity of why it's there. Get the knowledge from it and become wiser. That's where the transmuting comes from. But if you do not, anger will burn and destroy, burn bridges, break relationships, do things that, you know how you say, I said something I can't take back. That's the energy of Mars or fire in the lower aspect. Negative influence, cannots, arrogance, the ego, anger, stubbornness, selfish, temperamental, and recklessness. That is the energy of fire. It is reckless because once a fire gets started, it really can't really be contained. So always, always remember the dualities of this energy. I wanted to break down Gvura. I couldn't put it all on one presentation, but here it goes. The word Gvura is one of the 10 Sephirot, which are divine emanations or attributes that serves as the channels for the manifestation of God's qualities and energies. Gvura is commonly translated as strength, power, certainty, and it represents the aspect of the divine judgment, discipline, and restriction. Let's break down Gvura. Gimel. Gimel represents and symbolizes giving and benevolence. It represents the flow of divine energy and the act of bestowing kindness, sustenance upon creation. When you are in a higher state of vibration, you have filled your cup up. That is the energy of giving. That is the energy of sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, and also drawing down an open channel that assists everyone with what you've received. Bet, the letter represents boundaries, duality, and the different nations. It signifies structure, limitations, and definition. Bait is associated with the concept of separation and act as a vessel to contain and organize the divine energy. Vav. The letter Vav represents the connection between the spiritual and the physical realm. It serves as a conduit, linking heaven and earth. Vav also signifies transformation and integration of the opposites, becoming whole. Resh. Resh, it symbolizes the head or the intellect. We're talking about becoming wiser, walking in wisdom. It represents insight, understanding, and spiritual awareness. Resh is associated with the power of discernment and the ability to make wise decisions. Hey. The letter Hey is often associated with the divine feminine aspects and represents the Shekinah. The Shekinah is the mother energy, the vessel in which all feminine energy comes from. All the modalities, all of them, the Shekinah means nothing but vessel. The vessel in which that energy, that divine energy is held. The feminine energy is held. The immanent presence of God in the world. It signifies the divine revelation and spiritual manifestation. As you see, when you call on Gvura, it ain't just the opposite polarity, or in English translated as courage. Each letter that you're pronouncing Gvura, you are actually activating a constant transformation within you to balance the masculine and feminine within you, to allow you the courage, the God courage, the expanded way of being wiser, of transformation, of the nourishing energy. It is constantly feeding you light. When you choose to walk in courage, you choose to go through the process of transformation with nurturing, with protection, understanding the duality, understanding the masculine and feminine energy. You are holding and composing all these energies when you step and walk in Gvura. The color of courage. The color is red. Adom, which is translated to the sphere of Gvura. It represents strength, certainty, and judgment. It is often associated with the color red. Gvura is the aspect of the God's divine attributes that embodies strict justice and discipline. Everybody on earth want to judge everything that's going on external of them. But when you begin to truly transform within you, it's enough that you know what's wrong and what's right. It's enough to have the discipline to walk in what's right, knowing that your higher self gave you a truth. It's not going to be the truth that everybody has. It's not going to be to the level and the frequency that everyone has. Having an acute understanding and judgment that everybody is not on that level of frequency. That's like me talking to my 18-year-old and trying to get him to understand the level of spirituality that I have tapped into. That's unfair. So me using discipline, meaning being very quiet, being clear on when and how to break certain things down, discerning that his mind is not capable to receive what I'm trying to explain to him, understanding that this is where judgment, wisdom, having a clear head. Why give somebody something that they're not able to process or discern? This energy of Gvura, the element of fire. In Kabbalah, red is often connected to the element of fire. Fire is considered a purifying and transformative force. It represents the burning passion, enthusiasm, and divine inspiration within the soul. The red color symbolizes the heat and transformative power of fire. Blood and life force. Remember, when you transform the blood, which is the ego, you are operating out of the higher vibration of light. So even though red represents the blood, even though red represents the fire, you are not in the anger state, anxiety state, lower vibration state, forceful, reckless. You are walking in the energy of purified blood. Red is also associated with the blood and the life force within Kabbalah. Blood represents vitality, energy, and the essence of life. Adam, Adom. Same root cause, same root energy. Adam represents the actual atoms, which is in our blood, our DNA. So understand that these letters in Hebrew are truly, each letter holds the energy of transformation. It's knowing it and using it in the proper context. In Kabbalistic teaching, the red color represents the life force, emanates all living beings, and connects them to the divine. The desire for connection in Kabbalistic thought, red can symbolize the passionate desire for connection with the divine. It represents the burning longing for spiritual union and yearning for a deeper relationship with God. When you activate this energy, that burning desire that sits in your heart chakra, our heart is the center of the blood. That's the blood vessel. That's the blood pump. But it is also electric, which means that it is constantly fire. You choose to use that burning desire, burning passion for God, for life force, for healing, for truth, or the latter. Like always, even in Beco'ach Level 1, we did 2 lines on the second presentation. Here's our third line. Na gibor dorshe yekudeacha kebavat shomre. Neged Yachash is the energy that allows you for all healing. It's drawing down healing of all your energy bodies as well as the physical body. It draws down substance from the higher realm to the physical realm. This sequence represents the above and the below, drawing down that celestial energy, drawing down those celestial beings, that celestial powers and abilities, capabilities. When you become the healed version of yourself, you are the magnet to everything that you need, everything that you want. Knowing your thoughts, I have to constantly remind us, knowing what you're thinking, knowing what you're feeling, you are taking control of your own DNA, which is the DNA force of that tree of life, and becoming the ultimate God of your own universe, which means now you can speak things into existence. Now you can think things into existence. Now you can feel things into existence. But it is very prudent to know, what are you operating out of? The energy Neged Yachash is an angel of that day. Angel of the day, praying and meditating using the energy of Tiferet, glory. Archangel Michael is the angel that protects you from the unknown. That is the angel of light. He is the chief of the warriors of light. He is there leading a whole army to protect you. When you're going through this transformation, when you're walking on your journey, when you're choosing God, you have an army that is protecting you, whether you know it, whether you see it or not. This is the energy of the sun. What does the sun do? It hydrates you. It rejuvenates you. It charges you. Because remember, the sun is light. The sun is electric. What is it fueling? Our hearts. Tiferet. Breaking down Tiferet. Tav. The first letter is Tiferet, represents truth, completion, and perfection. It signifies the divine essence and the absolute reality. Seeing beyond the illusions. Being able to see what's really real. No longer living in this over-romanticized life. You now understand that there's walking beings. You now understand that we have planetary alignments. Understanding that there are aliens and celestial beings walking on earth. We have people who have gained their light bodies. They are here on earth. The masses are clueless of these things because they are distracted by fashion. They are distracted by jewelry. They are distracted by currency, which is called money. They are distracted by wars and pity parties and who says and naysayers. These are the things that keeps us so bound and trapped in an illusion. So gaining, using Tav to see beyond this illusion. See the reality. Understand that there's a full spiritual warfare going on every single day. People are showing you. When they said it's going to be a zombie apocalypse, that is real. Activating your third eye, you can actually see people are walking dead. If you do not have an active heartbeat, an active heart chakra, just because you're walking around don't mean that you're living. Just because you're walking around don't mean that you're healthy and you're healed. This is what we're witnessing walking zombies. They may not be over dramatized the way that they put them on TV and in the movies, but they are. It's painful because a lot of our family members are. But this is our reality. This is you being aware of these things now. Pei, the second letter in Tiferet, symbolizes speech, our throat chakras, communication, and revelation. It relates to the power of creative expression and the ability to manifest the divine qualities in the physical realm. Activate your higher throat chakra. Know what you're saying. Understanding that every single word that you speak out into the universe, it manifests. Whether it manifests and it show up in your environment 20 years later, it manifests. I used to say, Lord, take these children for a minute. I need a break. I want somebody to come and get them. I need a break. I need a break. I said this about 16 years ago. I would think every other day, if not several times a day. It manifested, you all. It manifested. I didn't know the power of my words. I didn't know that this would really be for me. But at the same time, it will challenge me. I didn't know that. This is why knowing who you are, knowing what you're speaking, and being very, very careful. If you ever paid a close attention for those who really become enlightened, they become very silent. The Krishnas, the different Buddhists, Buddha himself, it's not that he couldn't speak. It's not that he didn't have very powerful words to speak. It was being very meticulous on what he said. Because when you are aware of the dualities, when you are aware of how that trickster energy can come in and have you to speak something, whether it's doubt, whether it's insecurities, whether it's a low vibration of, you will be surprised you and manifested it. At some point, it's coming back to you as a lesson or a test to see, are you going to rise above? Our throat chakra is powerful. Life and death is at the power of the tongue. Being very meticulous. Aleph, the third letter in Tiferet, signifies oneness, unity, and divine energy. It represents the transcendental nature of God and the interconnectedness of all energies, all existence, all the multiverse. Resh, the fourth letter in Tiferet, represents the head again, the intellect, leadership. It signifies the ability to receive and transmit divine wisdom, insight, and spiritual guidance. That's why we get to a point that one of the higher qualities in the initiation, he said, learn to be silent. Learn to be silent. Choose when and how to speak and to whom. Because just because people will say they on their spiritual journey, just because people say they ready to hear the truth, just because some of them ask for intuitive readings, don't mean that they are ready for what truth is coming. And using discernment and being in a space that you respect these energies. You respect how powerful these energies are. Tav, the final letter again in Tiferet, signifies completion. We complete in Tiferet. Wholeness and perfection. It represents the culmination of spiritual growth and the unlimited, ultimate realization of the divine harmony and balance. Remember the importance of you are now on the pathway to glory. You are actively using this energy of Tiferet, which means as you walk, as you encounter, you have to use this energy. You have to expand into an awareness of when, how, who, and if. This is being in an expanded spiritual practice daily. And this is not just governed for others. This is mainly governed over yourself, to tap into being the God of your universe, the ultimate creator of your universe. You and all the planets that orbs around you. You have to take this wisdom, all the experiences that you had, and become wiser. Walk with this energy. But it puts an anointed on your head. That means that you cannot just frivolously do anything, say anything, because now you know. And when you know better, you'll do better. So when you actively use this type of energy, you have to walk in it. Or it's as if you never touched it. Again, we always have the choice to ascend or to descend. But when making that choice, there comes serious consequences. Certain consequences can take you back several reincarnations of karma, or can shoot you further down the line, several dimensions, light years in consciousness. That's the duality. That's the choice. Activating the energy of the sun. Understanding the sun, the initial shine represent sheen, because we're going to break down sheen as in Shemesh. Shemesh is the sun, representing the first sheen, the divine energy and presence, suggesting that the sun, Shemesh, is a symbol of the divine radiance and light. The Mem emphasizes the fulfillment and transformative qualities associated with the sun. It signifies the sun's ability to provide warmth, growth, and life-giving energy, similar to the nourishing properties of water. Now, we know that water is electromagnetic. Go figure. The sun, the water, the elements, they all are interconnected, and they are here. That's how we are composed. We are composed of all these elements. So using these elements and their highest divine qualities only assists you. Haven't you noticed when you go outside and you're in the sun rays, you feel better automatically, no matter what you're going through? The final sheen further emphasizes the fiery and energetic nature of the sun, representing its intense heat, power, and ability to influence, illuminate the world. Therefore, in the Kabbalah, the word Shemesh highlights the sun as a manifestation of the divine energy and light, possessing transformative and life-giving qualities akin to the fire and water. Again, we are literally all the elements. We are walking in these energies every single day. Here, Cassandra, I already know you've seen this before, but here is the tree of life in our bodies. I looked very hard for this picture to try to give us an understanding of how you are the walking tree of life and how these energies compose within you. The golden light, which represents the sun, or is golden light or amber light, is often used as metaphorically to convey the luminous, brilliance and spiritual radiance associated with the divine glory. It is important to note that Kabbalistic teachings often use symbolic language and imaginary to convey abstract concepts and spiritual experiences, so the color representation may vary depending on the individual and interpretation. This is the burning flame in the heart. I have to say this. Each one of us have our own light body. Our light body could be a different ray of the sun, which is composed of the colors of the rainbow. You can have a light, a blue light body, a green light body, a golden light body, a white opalescent light, crystalline light. We are all composed of all these colors, all these elements. Is being aware of what we're doing, understanding that the Bible, the ancient texts that they left behind, each and every last one of those stories are nothing but parables. Those parables are secret codes for us to decode using the elements, using the understanding of a higher consciousness. They left these codes, they left these stories behind so we can transcend and expand from those stories. Not take them literal, not walk in them literal, but use those energies to expand. I will use one of the stories. Let's use the story, the prophet Daniel. The prophet Daniel was constantly challenged, but yes, used. The king Nebuchadnezzar used him for his insight and ability to read dreams, interpret dreams. But there came jealousy, anxiety that was fueled in the king's mind by his advisors because they didn't understand it. What you know is you still have people out here that think astrology is devil worship, witchcraft. Those same energies that have burned women and men in the ancient on stakes. Because the knowledge and the consciousness, sacred geometry was banned for out eons. Because they don't want you to know who you are. They don't want you to unlock that celestial being energy. They don't want you to go beyond and transcend the flesh. So knowing who you are is powerful. This is where we tap into another level of gratitude because you are beginning to walk a journey that your ancestors walked in. But Daniel, once again, Daniel the prophet, they threw him in the lion's den. They didn't know that he was a shaman. And truth be told, he didn't even believe in his shamanistic abilities and in his level of consciousness until he got thrown in there. So the first thing he did is open a portal by saying a prayer. And then he drew down that higher consciousness that can talk to the animals, that can talk and communicate with the plants, that can cause and talk to the mountains in the cave. That's what it's really about. Those stories of the lion's den and trying to give us to and walk in fear, all those energies are literally to keep you from walking with courage. Why do they work overtime in fueling technology, in fueling social media, in fueling the news with so many tragic accidents, so many if you really listen to the news, you will literally believe the world is collapsing. This is it. This is the apocalypse. But the reality is that yes, the old is dying. The truth is being revealed. And it's all about your perception. Where are you going with this? We're going to go into the meditative part of the actual class. It is not a long meditation. I know that we have to close out at a certain time, but we're going to begin the meditation. I'm going to stop the recording in a few minutes. We're going to open the portal with the clearing prayer. Again, we're going to say the first, second, and third line of Ana Beco'ach. Then we will begin the heart breath. Begin to connect to your breath, starting the heart breath. So